Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Apio Puzzles. My name is Jordan, and today we're going to be solving a cryptic crossword from Melbourne's Liam Runnalls from the Age newspaper yesterday, 31st of October 2023, which of course was Halloween. So I'm interested to see whether Liam chose to theme this crossword, which he often does. Although he does also do a crossword in the Saturday paper each week, so he might have one themed in there instead, which I will be doing on Saturday this week, so keep a lookout for that. So far, the full crosswords that I have done on the channel have all been Liam's, and of course there's nothing wrong with that, but my aim is to do each of Liam's puzzles each week on Tuesday and Saturday, but to do at least one other and possibly and hopefully more than that from other publications like The Big Issue and The Guardian, and there's a really good American online news source called The Nation, which used to publish cryptics and doesn't anymore, but they have a whole lot of them in their back catalogue, and I believe the setters for those also publish independently, and I did a few of them a few years ago and they were really good. And unlike America, they're cryptics, they're not American style puzzles, but they're written by Americans, or I assume they're American, not Canadian, but they don't depend on enormous amounts of American style local knowledge. So, and the cluing was excellent. So anyway, a whole host of different setters that I'd like to feature, but Liam, I think, is obviously a really great one to do regularly, especially for a channel that's hoping to get beginners into cryptics. I think Liam's puzzles are really well written, they're fun, and they're not too difficult. So that's the plan. The only other thing to mention is that I've started doing YouTube shorts once a day with a clue of the day from just the best clues that I come across in my puzzling, and I've got a whole backlog of stuff that I've done in the past, so keep a lookout for those. And I think that's everything there is to say right now, so why don't we try to break into Liam's puzzle and one across. And let me just get everything set up over here. Good. So you'll see at the top of the screen there, we can see which clue I'm focused on at the moment. 1, terrified picnickers ant problem. Nice. Okay, so this is a anagram clue where problem is indicating that we need to rearrange some letters, and if we rearrange picnickers ant, I'm pretty sure we're going to get panic stricken. Looks like the letters are there. So pretty easy opener, where when we pass a clue, often one of the key things we're kind of keeping an eye out for is an indicator word that might suggest an anagram, such as problem, and then a set of letters in sequence like picnickers and that are the same length as the indicated clue length. And if those two things are right next to each other, there's a good chance you're looking at an anagram. So, and of course terrified is panic stricken. So we've got a whole bunch of opening letters here. Let's go with some low-hanging fruit. So 9-letter word, promotion by university. So I'm already thinking of promotion as ad. We start the word with an A, so it might be an ad, and a university is often a U. So Los Angeles morphed into worship. Okay, so this is going to be adulation. So a promotion is an ad, that comes up all the time. University is abbreviated to U, and that's a regular abbreviation that does occur. Los Angeles is, of course, LA. Morphed into, and so morphed is acting as an anagram indicator. We need to rearrange the letters of into to get TION, and adulation means worship. Just a note I like to make on these abbreviations: university abbreviates to U. That does not mean that you can just take any word in a cryptic clue and abbreviate it to its first letter. It's only if that word is legitimately abbreviated to that letter in the real world. So moving along to 10 across, since we've got in place a nice juicy U, nobleman's telly. Count. Okay, so this is a double definition, and a type of nobleman is a count, and the tally of something is the count of those things. So that's called a double definition. Let's see what we've got with 3 down. Okay, steps in to bury phobias say. Steps into bury phobias say. So maybe something like interferes or interrupts. To bury phobias, interferes. Oh, yes, okay. So what we're looking at here, the answer is interferes. So if so we've got this word say at the end of the clue, which suggests that we're looking at a homophone clue, which is that we need to take some words, some synonyms of the word just before that, and say them out loud and spell them in a different way. So if we take into and so the word, so okay, let me get this straight. Phobias is fears, clearly. Yes. Actually, no, so I don't think I understand this, because fears is phobias. That would be the say bit. Oh, okay, so maybe... Oh, right. So to bury is inter. Okay, I was getting confused there, because I was thinking into was part of this homophone, but no. So to bury someone is to inter them, and phobias are fears. And if we say fears out loud and spell it in a different way, we would spell it F-E-R-E-S potentially, and that is our answer in a roundabout way. And to interfere is, of course, to step in. Very nice. So 4 down. Stupid engines die and novice somehow starts car. So S-E-D-A-N-S. Okay, or cars rather. So we're looking at sedans here. So the starting letters of stupid, engines die and novice somehow are indeed S-E-D-A-N-S, which means cars. So a nice straightforward beginning letter style clue. 11 across, why not just change the pace up a bit. Don't open purse after dance club conversation. So don't open could be the D. Purse after dance club, disco, conversation, discussion. I think just, oh no, does that fit? Disc versus, maybe not, discourse. Okay, yes, so this is discourse. So a disco is a dance club, and we've got the word purse without its opening letter. Don't open purse. So we get U-R-S-E. That comes after the dance club and gives us discourse, which is a conversation. Nice. 5 down. Regard spectra suspiciously. So this is a straightforward anagram. So if we rearrange the word spectra, we get respect, which means regard. So suspiciously is acting as our anagram indicator there. 6 down. We're really motoring along here. Mob curtailed bad omen. Curtailed bad omen. Oh, okay, so that's a nice clue. So we're looking at a word for mob, and we're going to curtail that, which is to take the final letter off, and we're going to get a word for a bad omen. So the final answer is crow. So crowd would be our mob, curtailed to give us crow for a bad omen. So 7 down. 2/5 graders cried. 2/5 graders cried after sides lost uncanny. It looks like eerie. Let's pop that in and see if that works. So eerie for uncanny is just what I was thinking. 2/5 graders cried after sides lost. Okay, so the 5th letter of graders is E. And if we have 2 of those, so 2 5th graders, that gives us EE. Cried with the sides lost, take out the C and the D, and you get RIE for eerie, meaning uncanny. Okay, this is going splendidly. 13 across. My best aim took out odd mountain man. Okay, so that looks, took out odd. Yeah, okay, so that is Yeti. Took me a second there. So if we take out the odd letters from my best aim, so we remove the M and the B and the S and the A and the M, we end up with the even letters, which is Y-E-T-I for Yeti, which is a mountain man. Okay, let's try this long one over here. Have we seen anything? Well, panic stricken, that does indeed. Here we go. So this definitely does have a certain Halloweeniness about it. We've got panic stricken, we've got count, like Count Dracula, seems about right. Yeti is a kind of scary thing. So I think we're probably going to see a few more clues that have some association with Halloween. So here we go. So like a comedian suffering from stage fright. So it looks like an anagram because suffering is often used to indicate that, and like a comedian is 13 letters, so that's what we're looking for. So stage fright, question mark, which is always a bit concerning. I'll come back to that one, I think. I'll try to get some more letters. 12 across. It looks like it might be another Halloweeny idea though. Changes order to rump and angers cook. So this one, it looks like changes order is acting as an anagram indicator, and we're going to take the words rump and the word anger, the two words rump and angers, and put them together and rearrange to get us a word to mean cook. I'm not seeing one. I'm sure it's real easy. No, okay, I'll come back to that. I find it hard doing anagrams under pressure, especially if I don't have a pen in my hand. It makes it all harder. Dr. Evil burned rubbish. So Dr. Evil might be an anagram of evil. We're doctoring it, and then burned rubbish. So we're missing a couple of letters. So what's going to happen there? Okay, so no, that's burned is acting as the anagram indicator, and doctor is acting as dr. So dr with an anagram of evil, so evil has been burned, and continuing the tradition of basically any adjective being appropriate to suggest rearranging letters, and drivel is of course rubbish. So let's try 16 across. Vitalize monster making famous quote 3,5. Vitalize 3,5. Famous quote. Maybe monster's just the anagram indicator for vitalize, and so this it's alive. Okay, I think that's it's alive, which will be a famous quote. Again, has a certain horror aspect to it. It's alive is an anagram, I believe, of vitalize. So a slightly quirky answer, that one. Let's try another one of these long ones. 9 down, probably continuing our theme. Here we go. Really spooked, standing next to clone. 6, 7. Okay, so this is a cryptic definition. So if you're really spooked, well, actually, it's not really, not exactly a cryptic definition, but beside yourself is the answer. Let's get that right. Beside oneself, I guess. That doesn't work otherwise. Yeah, so standing next to is beside, and your clone is yourself. So really spooked is to be beside yourself. So 20 across. Give out a second autograph. This is going to be A for A. Second is S in the sense of the abbreviation for the unit of time. And an autograph, or to autograph, is to sign, and to give out is to assign. 17 down. Starts dietitian's concoction when lacking sunlight vitamin. So I feel like we're gonna, concoction is acting as an anagram indicator on dietitians, and we're gonna be taking out the vitamin associated with sunlight, which is vitamin D. So if we take the D off dietitians and then rearrange it, we're going to get a word for starts, which I think is going to be initiates. Initiates. Hang on. Get that right. Or initiate. Yeah, initiates with an S. Very nice. So 27 looks very gettable. Hotel, Intel. Let's have a look. Chip maker fries peeled lentils. So it is Intel. I was thinking of the wrong type of chip, and of course that is the intention with the way that the surface is structured. It sounds like you're talking about a maker of some sort of edible chip, but of course Intel make chips in the other sense of the word, or an other sense of the word. And if we peel the word lentils, we take the L and the S off the ends, we get entil. And if we fry that, we rearrange it, and we get the chip maker in Intel. Very nice. And you know, nice surface reading. Like Liam really does some really good work with his surface readings, making some sort of sense and not being completely unbelievable as potential utterances. Colourful swimmer turns crazy and egocentric. Okay, so a colourful swimmer, I think we're going to look for, that's probably going to be the definition, or maybe colourful. Turns crazy and egocentric. A colourful swimmer might be some sort of fancy colourful fish. Turns crazy. So crazy could be turned around at the beginning. Mad, damn. Oh, I've got the setting, that's what's going on there. My settings, just give me 1 second, I'm going to pause. I don't know who in any situation would want to be skipping over letters when you're typing an answer in, but if that does start with mad backwards, we're looking for some sort of colourful swimmer or colour, but I don't know if that's one I know if that's what it is. So we'll come back and we've got some more letters. It's just too long a word for my little mind to deal with right now. Where's my clues? Here we go. 18. One none-eyed distressed with offensive hint. And that is going to be an anagram. Offensive hint. So it will look like just one none-eyed, distressed, rearranged, for an offensive hint. Innuendo. Okay, very nice. I was looking for something with a D on the end for some reason, but one none I had distressed with offensive hint. Again, it's a nice surface reading. It's got a little bit of humour to it. 19 down. Spooky 10 across, spooky count, returns birthday greeting to you with note. So I think spooky count is going to be Dracula. And a birthday greeting is a card. If we return those letters, we send them back in the other direction, we get Drac. And U is you, and La is one of the notes. Do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, do. And there's our answer, 24 across. How are we going on time? 20 minutes, not bad. So, victims of informal neckwear items. Victims of informal and formal neckwear items. Neckwear item ties. Okay, so this will be casualties. I was coming at that clue in the wrong direction. I thought the neckwear items would be the final definition, but actually victims are casualties. And informal is casual, and formal neckwear items are ties, so we get casualties. 21 down. Yellowfin bite deerskin in Arctic ecosystem. There's a lot of funny words in there. So deerskin's probably going to be D and R, the skin letters of deer. Yellowfin is going to be around that, I think. It's biting it. So that would be tuna with D and R in the middle. And so we get tundra. So deerskin is DR. Tuna is biting that, so it's wrapped around. Yellowfin is tuna. And an Arctic ecosystem is the tundra. So our final long answer, probably again relating to Halloween. Terrified hostages with a puzzle. Interesting. So we've got in the middle here, we need an or as by the look of it. Terrified. Yes, as a ghost. White as a ghost. Or not pale as a ghost. White as a ghost. Terrified hostages with a. That's great. So hostages with a is the 13 letters that we need. Puzzle is saying that's the anagram indicator telling us to rearrange those letters, and we get white as a ghost. That's a great find there, Liam. 25 down. 19 down, which we have as Dracula. 19 down's alternate form, trapped royal monster. Right. I paused because I had the wordplay all sorted, but I was putting one letter in the wrong place. So the answer, we're looking for, Dracula's alternate form, which is bat, and we're going to trap inside of that an abbreviation for royal, which is R, and that gives us brat, which is a monster. I was pausing because I was thinking, in what way is Bart a monster? But there we go. Brat it is, and this should make 26 pretty gettable. It looks like it might be round on the end. Lays idly with Indian loot found abandoned by female. So it looks like lie around, which is lays idly. So yeah, that and liar is going to come into play here, I think. So an Indian loot is a liar, I assume. Found abandoned. Okay, so found. Found is found with, and abandoning the F on female, the abbreviation for female gives us ound. So then we've got lie around as, is that how you spell a or is it lay around? I'm sure it must be liar, because that's an instrument, right? But it just seems like a weird spelling of liar. Curious. I'll have a think about that at the end, and let's just check that we're even correct. So 23 down. Sorceress has rash symptom after whiskey. Okay, so I am wrong here. Unless I put the grid in wrong. Let me just check that I put... No, okay, so this answer here is witch. This is going to be sitar. Sitar, right. Okay, so a sitar is an Indian instrument, or an Indian lute. I wonder if a lyre is an instrument, or if I was just hallucinating. But in the case of 23 down, the sorceress is a witch. The symptom of a rash is an itch, and it is following whiskey, which is abbreviated to W in the International Phonetic Alphabet. So we're closing in now on the end of the puzzle. Let's see if we can round it out in fashion. 22, rules for the French bridge opponents. So this is going to be a word for the in French, which is either le, la, or le, or in theory L apostrophe. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do an L just on its own for the French, which I think it would be technically fair, but maybe unfair in a less technical sense. But in this case, we're looking for LA, which is La in French, and bridge opponents are W and S, and that's west and south. The game bridge is oriented around the idea, as far as I understand it, of north, south, east, and west players. So, and of course, laws are rules. So let's come back to 14 down. Colourful swimmer. Oh, yeah, that's right. The colourful swimmer. So it looks like fish at the end. Turns crazy and egocentric. Turns crazy and egocentric. So selfish would be egocentric. Oh, so this is a damsel fish. I don't think I've ever heard of that, but I'm almost certain that's going to be what it is. So a crazy is mad, and we turn that around for egocentric is selfish, and a damsel fish, it kind of sounds like something that you might call a fish, obviously a colourful one. Now, we're pretty much, if we can't get 8 down at this point, we may be struggling. Like a comedian suffering from stage fright, 6, 7. So the break is here. This was this an anagram? Yeah, actually, it looks like I know there's no S in any of that, I think. Suffering from stage fright. Let's see if we can get this 12. That might be our last hope. Changes order to Rump and Angers cook. Yeah, actually, I don't have any extra letters here now. So Rump and Angers, and the whole thing means cook. Could do with a pencil here. And these are the only ones I've got left. I feel like 8 down should be more gettable. I mean, it's got some really seemingly useful letters in there, like a comedian suffering from stage fright. Maybe a comedian suffering is an anagram, and that's the first 9 letters, and then we need 4 more letters, and the whole thing is fright, because we do have the C and the D. And the first letter is either going to be an S or a vowel, I would think. Scared. That would have made sense. So scared, witless. Brilliant. Okay, so nice kind of oblique definition there. So a comedian who's suffering from stage fright would be scared, witless. They will have lost their wit. Nice, very good. That might be my favorite clue, actually. So finally 12 across, which looked like an anagram and still does, I think. Rump and Angers, and I've got to be able to get it now for cook. So R-E-A-R-N, R-E-A-R-N, so G-S-U-M-P. What even goes second? It looks like only the U could go second. I think I've got something wrong about this, passing this clue. Interferes, sedans, respect, adulation, scared. So they're all correct. It feels like we need a better vowel in second place than a U. And this is some really weird word I've not heard of. Okay, let's rethink the clue from scratch. Oh. Well, very well. So I did have the clue completely the wrong way around. So cook is actually our anagram indicator, and we need to rearrange rump and angers to get a word that means changes order. And so we get rearranges, and there we go. The crossword gets crossed out because of the software. When I put this in, I just put X's in place of the answers. So yeah, a misdirection there. Changes order is a really obvious anagram indicator, and cook a little bit less so, and so had completely the wrong idea. There's a few differences in the way that cryptic crosswords tend to be written in Australia versus in the UK, and one of them is to do with the placement, or the the way that the parts of speech that can be used to indicate things. So in this case, I suspect that some British papers would say we can't have the word cook in that form following the anagram fodder, rump and angers, because it doesn't logically suggest in a grammatical sense that those letters need to be rearranged. Well, it should say cooked rather than cook. And maybe if you put the cook beforehand, that makes sense. So cook, rump and angers, then okay, we want to cook those words. But if it comes afterwards, then it should be cooked ed. And I suppose, it's just a matter of convention, really. And in this case, it's probably slightly why I was thrown, because changes order was, I guess, more kind of in line with how you would strictly structure an anagram indicator. But at the end of the day, it really just comes down to me being a buffoon. So there we go, a beautiful, as predicted, Halloween-themed crossword from Liam. Like I said, I'll be with you again on Saturday for his Saturday paper crossword, but more than likely before then as well with a big issue. I've got lots of back editions of that to go through. So thanks again for being with me. Do feel free to subscribe if you want to see more of these. It's really exciting getting the odd subscriber here and there. Excuse me. And I think that's all. So I'll see you all again next time.